Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have Vic, vocalist from the hard rock band Any Given Sin. How did you guys form as a band?
Sure. So, Any Given Sin existed before I came in the band. The creator, Mike Connor, is the guitarist. And so me and Mike played together. I was in another group, and we opened for them, played with them a few times. And when their singer left, and I left that group, then he said, "Hey, would you like to come, do this band with us?" They're getting a new bass player, which is our current bass player, Rich Stevenson. And then still Mikey was the drummer. And then they just asked me to give it a go, and I came in. We started writing a little bit. Some songs started hitting, and we just went from there. That was about 2016-ish.
Okay. And you played in bands in the past before you got to Any Given Sin.
Many of them. The band I was with before was a band Trust Divided. They were out of Louisville, Kentucky, and I traveled for them. And then I was in the Navy for 7 years and played in a few different bands while I was in.
When were you in the Navy? What years?
I was in from 2003 till going into 2010.
How do you guys go about writing songs? Do you have a blueprint or a formula you go with, like the guitar starts with a riff, or do you have words for songs already figured out?
It can happen a few different ways. Generally speaking, we'll usually have some music. It might be 4 chords, 3 chords, maybe a riff, something that's just, kind of grooving. And then we'll try to get some melodies to that, that we like, and then start writing words to that. So it's kind of like a layered cake there, from generally speaking, for most tunes.
How did you get your song put on Octane Radio? How did that come about?
Well, there's a little professional courtesy I have to render, and I can't say exactly who, but we had a person that was connected with Octane. We sent them the tune. They really liked it. The first song was Dynamite that we put out with them. And he got it into the hands, and then it went on test drive, and people were digging it, and they said, well, let's give it a chance, and kind of just went from there, and we've just been kind of had an open relationship with them since then with new material.
And you've put out 3 songs, Dynamite, Insidious, and Another Life. And they've all done quite well, all of them.
We're quite happy with them. Octane, for sure, they've all done really well. We're very fortunate.
You have those 3 songs. Do you actually have a whole album completed, and you're just releasing single, or what?
We have more than, we don't have a full album recorded, but we have basically close to an album recorded, but we're just kind of doing singles right now.
And what were you looking for, in the future? You're going to put out an album with those 3 songs and more, down the road, or when stuff starts to open, put it out and then start promoting it?
Right, kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah, when stuff is opening up, we're looking more at, once stuff's opened up, then maybe that's an album drop time, so that we could tour off of it and do things like that. But for now, maybe the first half of the year here, we have a new song coming out March 26th. Octane's going to have the exclusive, the premiere on it, and then it'll be up on all of our things, YouTube, Spotify, everywhere, on the 26th of March.
What have you guys been doing since the lockdown? Writing, or what have you been doing?
We put out Insidious about, July, August timeframe. So we did that video and recorded that song. And and then we went back to the studio, recorded two more songs. One of those is one that's coming out on 26th, around November. Did the video for that around January. So just little incremental things, just to keep the songs moving.
What are some of your musical influences as far as vocalist?
Oh, definitely Soundgarden back here, Chris Cornell. Really anything from that time period. I mean, I love Alice Chains and Mudhoney and even a little Nirvana here and there. Definitely singer wise, like Miles Kennedy, Jeff Buckley, obviously Chris Cornell. Just a lot of '90s stuff was probably my biggest influence, I'd say.
When I listened to the song Dynamite, towards the end, you have a vocal part where you're like reaching up, and it sounds a lot like Brent Smith from Shinedown. Has anybody told you that?
Oh yes, yeah, yes they have. I've gotten that now and then. It's it depends on how they mean it. If it's a compliment or if it's like an insult, you know what I'm saying? But but yeah, yes, I've gotten it.
Mine was a compliment.
Absolutely, yeah, I didn't take it as a.
Do you guys got anything lined up for like as far as tours coming up or anything like that?
We're working on it right now. The festivals we're still kind of just moved to the next year, so we have those still booked up. But then we're working on putting a tour together around that. We're thinking summertime we might be able to finally do that in at least a few states, maybe Midwest, maybe around the East Coast a little bit. We're just trying to still play it by ear a bit and figure out.
You got the single coming out, what, next weekend? Next Friday?
Oh, right, next Friday.
Okay.
Or this coming Friday.
Yeah, so you've been in bands before this. Have you had any success with those, or were they just learning experiences as you went along?
I mean, I think they're all a success to a point. I mean, they all led to something else. They all made me better. They learned something. I've been happy making it somewhere with any of those bands. This is the one that hit it, and it had whatever it needed at the right time, or the right connection, or it's just the one that went.
So what are you doing right now? Are you guys like working on new music, or what do you got going on right now?
Right now, we're just kind of ramping up for this release. We're always kind of writing new music. Right now, we're all kind of working some jobs too, pay the bills until do things. So a little bit of that.
You can break me down the way it is. I'll find another life somewhere on the other side. You can break me down. The pain it ends. I'll shine another light somewhere on the other side.
Did you guys do any like streaming live internet concerts while in the lockdown? Did you do anything like that, or?
We did one with Octane. I'm trying to remember the exact name they were calling it. It wasn't the Home Invasion. It was, and it's going to escape me now. But it's us, a band called Saul, and a band called Avoid, who all were doing pretty well last year. Saul as well for a few years. They gave us 3 bands for us a spot to do a live recording. We just did 3 songs. It was pretty cool.
Do you guys plan on releasing any like acoustic versions of some of your songs or down the road, or?
We thought about it. There are some we would like to do. It's kind of, we're looking more at the priority of getting like the meat and potatoes out, and then maybe start throwing some of those things once we have a full album out, or at least something like that. But yeah, we've had a few requests of people that maybe do a couple of songs acoustic and see how it goes. And
You already shot the video for this new song already that's going to be released this Friday coming up.
yes, more or less. It'll all go up on the 26th. You can see it on YouTube video, or in any of your streaming platforms. You can go ahead and start listening, download, and hit the pre-save. That helps us.
that was your first taste of success with Octane, and then people started taking notice, or do you have like a label behind you that's promoting you, or?
For this entire period so far, we've had no label. We're talking to people. I can't really say who or what or what's going on. We are in some conversations, but yeah, for the past really two and a half years, yeah, we've had no label doing these things. So it's been interesting. I think you learn a lot more if you don't have one, you know.
Yeah, sometimes it's good not to be tied to that and show that you can have success without having a label behind you, backing you. You could actually do it yourself, you know?
Absolutely. And then you start to learn what if you are looking at a deal or you're looking at something, you start to know what to look for and what not to do. You know, where you get to learn your demographics more because you have to pay attention to it more, probably. And again, I haven't been on labels, so maybe I'm talking out of my place here, but it just feels like if I was, I wouldn't be thinking about these things as much. You know what I mean? Or as involved, you know.
But then you learn about the business side of the industry that way.
Yeah, absolutely. In a big way. It's your money on the line for sure now, you know.
I was just reading an article, and it was about Chevelle, and they sold 6 million albums and did not make a dime off of it.
Yeah. That's insane. I mean, that's just crazy. I don't know what I'd do. I just, like, what do you do at that point? Like, except to get mad.
It's a good thing that you guys are, like, independent and can make those choices and do what you want instead of being controlled, kind of, you know?
It's kind of a double-edged sword. It's like you have the control. If you're a band like Chevelle that already has millions and millions of fans worldwide, you being free of your label, now you're rich. If you're a band coming up, you almost don't have enough money to get to that level, and so you're constantly having to play that game. There, you know, is what I'm doing where I want to be? Do I want to get higher? If I do I have enough capital to do it? All those sorts of things you start going through your head. So you're trying to figure it out, but it's just kind of a balance act, and you hope you don't get screwed. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. And you like got freedom to make your choices, and that's your proof. You're not on a label. You're making it. You're getting a following. They're playing you on the radio, and you don't have a label to promote you, and you're doing it.
Absolutely, yeah. The business ends. It's interesting, for sure.
Yeah, we're getting into some good stuff now.
I don't know what's going to happen after the coronavirus because it's just a lot of venues have closed down. Everybody's going to be after touring at the same time, like all at the same time. One great thing about it is everybody's going to come to concerts all at the same time as well. You know, so it's we'll see how it all works out.
It was actually good that everything closed down. All these people are ready to go to concerts and get out and interact with people. And the concert industry is going to be overflowing with bands you could go see on any given night.
Yes. That's my prediction. Yeah, pretty much just the floodgates will open.
Like a lot of good bands would do like package tours. Like there would be 3 good bands and nobody's really the opener. Everybody's like the headliner.
And I'm thinking you might see a lot of that. You might see a lot of bigger bands trying to do buy-ons. Just so if you don't have a lot of people, if you only get like half capacity, they might need a little extra funding on their tour. They might bring on a lot more bands who are just starting off. You know, maybe some of that. It could be a lot of opportunities for everybody.
Everything going wrong now. Nothing as it seemed was ever meant to be. And I had the world, I held it in my hand, turned it to the ground just to watch it land. If failure is an open book, it took a second look. I got the motivation, like on a situation. I'm like a rocket on the ground. Why don't you blow me